Good morning. Here are developing stories. My name is Remy Allen. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has announced a total and comprehensive 2-week warning strike affecting all public universities across Nigeria. The union's national president, Professor Chris Piwuna, made the announcement during a press conference held at the University of Abuja. He explained that the 14-day notice issued on September 28, 2025 had lapsed without any substantial response from relevant authorities. He stated that all ASU branches across the country have been directed to commence a full withdrawal of their services beginning at midnight today, October 13, 2025. According to Professor Piwuna, the strike will be both total and comprehensive, in line with the resolution reached at the union's most recent National Executive Council NEC meeting. Meanwhile, the federal government of Nigeria has called on the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to reconsider its decision to embark on an industrial strike, emphasizing that constructive dialogue remains the most effective and sustainable path toward resolving all outstanding issues in the tertiary education sector. In a joint statement, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, and the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Shuaiba Ahmad, made it known that the federal government has made a comprehensive offer to the union and is still awaiting ASU's official response. They emphasized that the federal government has approached the matter with demonstrable commitment and sincerity, evident in its prompt policy responses and financial interventions in the education sector. However, ASU has not reciprocated this gesture and appears determined to proceed with the planned strike despite the pending offer and ongoing engagement. The ministers reaffirmed that the administration of President Tinubu remains unwavering in its commitment to the welfare of Nigerian lecturers and the stability of the university system, noting that the ongoing reforms in the education sector are anchored on fairness, accountability, and institutional strengthening to ensure sustainable academic excellence. They also reminded the union that the principle of no work, no pay remains an extant provision of Nigerian labor law, and the federal government will invoke it should ASU proceed with the strike. The federal government has approved the extension of the ongoing Kefi-Nasarawa Total Road project to Abaji in the Federal Capital Territory, bringing the total length of the corridor to 199 kilometers. The Minister of Works, David Umai, made this known during an inspection tour of federal road projects in Nasarawa State. According to Umai, President Bola Tinubu granted approval for the extension and as part of efforts to improve interstate connectivity and ease vehicular movement between the North Central states and the FCT. He explained that the project would be executed in phases, with phase 1 covering 7 kilometers already having budgetary provision and currently under procurement. The second phase, covering the remaining 130 kilometers, will commence thereafter. The minister said the federal government is adopting a new and more durable construction technique expected to give the road a lifespan of at least 50 years. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has reaffirmed the commitment of the federal government to ongoing reforms, declaring that no amount of threats or blackmail will derail the transformative agenda already yielding results. Speaking at a media briefing for the 10th Nigeria Mining Week, Alake affirmed that indices of the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) are pointers to the fact that reforms are yielding fruits. The minister reviewed that efforts to strengthen regulatory frameworks have faced backlash, including threats to his life. Alake reiterated his unflinching resolve to follow through, declaring that no amount of intimidation, sponsored articles by unpatriotic hack writers or campaign of calumny can deter the vision of repositioning the mining sector. He highlighted reforms focused on transparency, investment risk mitigation, and value chain optimization. Alake hinted at the establishment of new pre-shipment agency for solid minerals, affirming that the installation of satellite surveillance of mining sites is also underway, alongside plans to double the personnel of the mining marshals, aimed at ensuring that the mobile squad has an active presence in all local governments in the country and is fully equipped to curtail illegal mining. Rivers State Governor Siminala Ifubara is preparing to send a new list of commissioner nominees to the State House of Assembly as part of efforts to reconstitute his cabinet following the end of the emergency rule in the state. This development comes as the governor has decided to retain 8 commissioners who were unaffected by the recent Supreme Court judgment that recognized Martin Amawele as the authentic Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Governor Fubara had earlier announced the dissolution of his cabinet upon resumption of full executive functions following the expiration of the 6-month emergency rule imposed on the state by President Bola Tinubu. According to an anonymous source, the retained commissioners include Dr. Adeize Ore Health, Charles Amadi Chieftaincy Affairs, Christopher Green Sports, Joe Johnson Information and Communications, Chisom Bali Youth Development, Victor Key Agriculture, Dr. Rosalie Uranta Women Affairs, and Unwa for Maximus Energy and Natural Resources. The sources added that a minor reshuffle might be carried out with some commissioners reassigned to other ministries. When asked when the new list of commissioner nominees will be sent to the Assembly for screening and confirmation, the source said the process will begin very soon. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has reiterated that no herbal product will receive full approval without undergoing proper design clinical trials to scientifically prove its safety and efficacy. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, in a statement said Nigerian herbal medicine practitioners have the expertise to formulate safe and effective natural remedies comparable to global standards. However, she stressed that scientific validation through clinical trials remains the key requirement for approval. According to the World Health Organization, up to 80% of Africa's population relies on herbal remedies for primary health care. NAFDAC's new drive aims to bridge the gap between traditional practices and modern scientific evaluation to ensure local herbal products are safe, effective, and globally acceptable. The Department of State Services has issued another public warning about a dismissed officer allegedly impersonating the agency to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians. In a post shared on its official X handle, the department identified the suspect as Victor Onyedikachi Godwin, a dismissed staff said to be engaging in unscrupulous activities using the name of the service. The DSS urged members of the public to desist from any dealings with him, adding that all official inquiries and complaints should be directed to its verified communication channels. The known disclaimer comes barely 4 days after the agency released a similar statement warning Nigerians against one Barry Donald, another dismissed officer accused of impersonating the service for fraudulent purposes. And that's the news. Thanks so much for watching. Good morning.